It's Wednesday. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. You're watching the 9 at Night. I'm Stephania Jimenez. Tonight, we start with a horrible accident at the San Antonio Zoo. Now, this video shows the moments after a tree broke inside of the zoo right as families were visiting for spring break. At least 7 people were hurt when that tree broke unexpectedly just after noon. Now, the San Antonio Fire Department confirmed that one of the injured guests was taken to the hospital as a priority 1, and that usually means that the patient suffered a life-threatening injury. The other 6 guests were taken to a hospital as a precaution, but the details on their injuries have not yet been released. Now, we want to give you a view from Sky 12 as crews work to clean up the large piece right there that fell, and it is pretty big. Look at how big it is compared to all of the people there on the ground. Now, this is towards the back of the zoo near the Birds of the World and Wild Australia exhibits.
Hearts right now go out to the family. It's such an unfortunate circumstance, but spring break is definitely in full effect here at the zoo, and it was a very busy day with lots of people walking, enjoying the zoo.
And that's the thing, a lot of people are going to be at the zoo this week because of spring break. That was Hope Roth you just heard from. Now, she's saying that the zoo is fully staffed this week. She says that security and in-house EMS workers were able to quickly respond to the guests. All right, so if you're planning to go out this weekend, wear a coat. We are not joking. And before temperatures dip, we're getting storms tomorrow night. Here's meteorologist Sarah Spivey.
Well, tomorrow is going to start off with some areas of light rain, about 30% coverage. It'll be in the mid-60s, and then we'll finally start to see some sun around noon when it'll be in the 70s. A breezy day tomorrow. It's going to be humid and warm in the afternoon. We'll top off near 80. So the weather for the most part is going to be quiet during the day tomorrow. However, tomorrow night, a strong cold front is going to move through, and it's going to be bringing some severe thunderstorms capable of wind gusts of up to 60 to 70 miles per hour. We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to be timing it out on the Nightbeat. And then behind that front, a big temperature drop and windy on Friday. We'll be looking at temperatures only in the 40s, wind gusts up to about 40 miles per hour as well. And it's not just going to be one day of cold. That cold is going to extend through the weekend with another round of rain possible. There is a lot to talk about in the forecast. I'll see you on the Nightbeat.
Yeah, that's why we want you to stick around, because Sarah Spivey is going to be back with your full forecast tonight on the Nightbeat. All right, so let's talk more safety measures and change. That is the goal for the family of a woman who was killed 3 years ago. And now Pollyanna Smotherman's sister wants to protect convenience store employees like the sister that she called Pam. Our Erica Hernandez explains how she's hoping to change state law.
It's been almost 3 years since Pollyanna Pam Smotherman's murder. Pam was working alone at the Easy Mart in Garden Ridge on July 29, 2020, when a still unidentified suspect walked in, shot her, and left with an undisclosed amount of money and lottery tickets.
And that's what I'm trying to do, is prevent any further harm or death for these convenience store employees.
Pam's sister, Harriet Riemann, has written to local, state, and federal lawmakers to see if anyone can help push legislation that would better protect convenience store employees. Of all the emails and letters she sent, she has received no response.
Why can I not get in touch with lawmakers for something that's actually doable and foreseeable for the protection of those that serve us?
Riemann says she would like to see convenience stores close at a certain hour or add a teller-like door to the outside so people can't walk in after a certain time, and add bulletproof-like areas for the employees to work in. And she wants lawmakers to know she's not giving up.
I think of my sister every day before I go to bed. I have her pictures right outside on the wall, and every day I look at her and I just tell her I'm not going to quit.
As far as Pam's case, it remains unsolved. Anyone with information can call the Garden Ridge Police Department or the Comal County Crime Stoppers at 830-620-TIPS. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Several people are moving into new homes after a fire ruined 6 units at a Northwest Side complex. Happened around 11 a.m. on Northwest Loop 410 near Bandera Road. Fire officials say the fire seems to have started between the first and the second floors. Heavy smoke could be seen from the second floor. Now, once the fire was out, the units were left with fire, water damage. All of the people who were displaced are going to be moving into a sister property. You know, it's always terrible whenever a car crashes into a trailer, and a woman and an 8-year-old girl are lucky that they survived that kind of impact. Incredible. It just happened outside the town of Lytle around 11 this morning. Bexar County Sheriff's deputies say that a 29-year-old woman rear-ended a trailer on Wisdom Road just north of Greenwood Road near Old Frio City Road. That crash was so forceful, it crushed the front part of the car. The woman and the 8-year-old girl both got hurt. The woman now dealing with serious injuries. She actually had to be airlifted to SAMC. The little girl was taken to University Hospital by ambulance. Deputies say that the driver of the other vehicle was not hurt. More than 9 months after the shooting at Robb Elementary, we are still asking the Department of Public Safety to release records, and this time the families of the victims are the ones making the request. They're asking a court to get DPS to release them. An attorney representing 6 of the victims' families filed a plea to the state district judge this week in Austin. The families are pushing for the records because they're at the center of an ongoing lawsuit filed against the state agency by multiple media organizations. By the way, KSAT also a part of that lawsuit. However, DPS officials refused to release them, citing a pending investigation exemption. It's been a really rough few years for families who can't pay rent. And here's the thing, you do have until tomorrow at noon to apply for the Texas Rent Relief Program. We first told you about the story yesterday. Originally, the deadline was March 28th, but because so many people applied or want to apply, the deadline had to be moved up. Now, for those applying for the first time, here's the deal. You could get up to 18 months of rent and utility help with either past, current, or future bills. For details on how you can sign up online or by phone, just go to our website, ksat.com, and good luck to you. So this is a tranquilizer medication for large animals. We're talking horses, elephants, but now it's illegal. It's in illegal drugs. The drug is almost always mixed with fentanyl. Courtney Friedman tells us about the terrifying side effect that's leaving people dead or with amputated limbs.
A tranquilizer for large animals is being cut with fentanyl and sold across America. Xylazine, known on the street as Trank, is highly addictive and incredibly dangerous.
When people inject it, which a lot of people, that's the way they use their fentanyl, it's very caustic to the tissues. And so it tends to cause sores. It spreads very quickly. You can get necrotic areas, and that's when you start hearing about amputation.
Shannon Weir is the chief nursing officer at Gallus Detox Centers in 3 different states, including Texas. She says some people don't realize they're taking Xylazine, but since it prolongs the effects of opioids, many people actually go looking for it. Testing for Xylazine at detox centers isn't standard yet, but many coroner's offices, as well as the DEA, are testing for it.
The amounts that they are finding when they do test are starting to skyrocket.
Regional DEA data from 2021 shows in the southern states there were over 1,400 overdose deaths involving Xylazine, which is over 1,000% higher than the year before.
Narcan, which is used to reverse opioid overdoses, does not work with Xylazine because it's not an opioid, but because 98% of the time it is mixed with fentanyl. You're still supposed to administer Narcan when someone is overdosing.
Weir is working to get Xylazine testing at Gallus Centers and meanwhile wants to educate the public as well as other addiction specialists to look for sores and much heavier withdrawals that include cognitive issues. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
All right, switching gears, the first hearing happening today in the case of an abortion pill lawsuit that could pose a threat to the nationwide availability of that popular medication. That hearing is being heard in Amarillo, where protesters gathered outside of the courthouse. A conservative Christian group is hoping to reserve or reverse the federal approval of the drug. The judge didn't make a decision today, but says that he plans to do so soon. According to the FDA, the medication is the most common form of abortion. Before we go, if you drive a Honda, you need to know this. Honda is recalling nearly 500,000 vehicles because of a seatbelt problem. The issue is the driver and front passenger seatbelts aren't latching properly. However, the automaker says that they haven't received reports of injuries just yet. It says it's going to send impacted owners a letter in the mail starting April 17th. If you want a list of all of the affected models, head on over to ksat.com. We're out of time. The 9 at Night returns tomorrow. Have a great night. We'll see you then.